Yeah.
What
That's
up?
good.
It's been a minute. We missed last week's episode.
Yeah, we have that
To
unfortunate event, but we're chilling now. And yeah,
to all our hundreds of loyal listeners, sorry about that. Meaning just Garrett, Garrett and my parents.
the goats.
Um, Facts. So, what you been up to?
Chilling. Just I feel like for a little bit I was in like a little bit of a slump, and I feel like slowly but surely pulled myself out, and I feel like now I feel like above the uh the threshold of where like I feel good now. So happy about that.
Mhm.
I think it was closely tied to this project at work that was just brolic, and yeah, happy that is done. Uh,
Was it like just the weight of the decision and sort of
it was just
trying to
like
deal with all the different angles and shit?
it was like technically implementing it was like had some challenges to it, and then also it was just like touching some code that was like so central to like yeah, just every dollar in the system goes through this code and hasn't been touched in like 5-10 years, and just like having to make like pretty substantial changes, and I was just like, this is insane. But luckily, at least to my knowledge so far, knock on wood, everything is okay. So, yeah, that has been my update. So feeling pretty good.
2 minutes later.
Yeah, literally just get a page. um yeah, what about you?
Chilling, man. Um, I'm trying to think when's the last time we spoke. Probably the last podcast we did.
Like
Yeah,
really
I mean, work has been exciting but very challenging. Just the learning curve is insane because it's a whole different industry, right? Working in crypto and the speed at which we need to be moving as a company requires every engineer to really work overtime. And I'm excited by that. But what you know about my last job, it's like that was the completely opposite experience where like I
sure.
could work 1 hour a month and meet my goals. So
Fact.
yeah, if you want to work 1 hour a month, go work at Citibank.
we we should honestly like get like JK or someone to like somehow get him to land a job and on the side.
The thing is, it's so miserable though that it's not even worth how much, like
Yeah,
how little time, because the time you do have to spend working is like it's miserable. I mean, at least it wasn't my team. I'm sure there's people at City who have
sure,
like a
sure,
positive experience, but
for sure.
I was not one of them.
Um, if they, let's say like in some alternate universe, like you really loved the job, but they made you like move to Texas, and like
Zero,
really
zero, no, zero,
interesting. What
no.
about the job now? If they're like like something you can snap your fingers like, and you could easily move to, and let's say it's not even all. Let's say it's Dallas, like
No.
no, GG.
I, it's just hard to imagine that scenario. So I guess I just don't want to live like in the taco meat part of the country.
Facts,
Like I want to live on the rim. Like I
facts.
don't give a fuck about all these flyover states. Yes, Austin would be cool, but I just think, I was having this conversation with my girlfriend. I really know that I'm a New Yorker because I genuinely don't want to live somewhere where 90% of my daily, like weekly needs are not within walking distance.
Interesting. Why is that so important?
At least right now. I don't care in 5 years, but right
But
now,
why
I
does
don't
that? Like,
know.
what if it was a 5 minute drive? Like,
It just sounds like a headache. I don't know. Like I don't. It's just a feeling. Like it's actually not something I've fleshed out like with words, but it's
I
just a
feel like when we
feeling.
were in California, though,
Like
like
when we
driving at
lived,
TJ's, driving the boat.
yeah, but we also all lived with each other. I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about, but
like
that's
solo.
different. If I'm living dolo, like I don't want to
You
take an
need at least
Uber.
one a can person if you're gonna give up the city.
Yeah, like gym, grocery store. I don't know. Maybe in 2 years, I remember this conversation like I was so stupid. But
Sure. Facts.
yeah, I just think like
I
living
mean,
in
even Brickell
Texas,
was
like
kind of nice because it was like you could walk to
that's
everything.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like Brickell was elite. Even Edgewater's elite.
Facts.
I could definitely live in Miami, but and I probably will honestly at some point in the future. I know we've belabored this point, but
Need a double 2 apartments on it.
facts.
Like a tiny spot in Miami, just
Mm,
for a few months.
I just want my friends to move here. Like if we could all migrate at the same time.
Facts.
Because right now I want to be near, like I like the friends that I have, and New York's not bad when you have a squad, but it's pretty miserable otherwise, I think. At least after living in Miami for, I don't know, 14 months now.
Sure. Nature's much.
I do think Miami's one of those cities though that until you experience living here,
Yeah, it's kind of
you just don't get it.
yeah. I wonder if there's gonna be like a mass sell off of like Miami apartments and like people giving up on their rent and stuff with like crypto crashing. Like, I mean, I'm sure everyone has a little stock. Like, I'm sure there's some people that have a stockpile, but like, there's probably some people that are like in the red, like
Yeah.
like out of my. Yeah, I wonder what how that will play out in that way. But,
Dude, the thing with the so we could talk a little bit about the Luna thing, but really what annoys me about it the most is how like almost arrogant Do Kwon has been on Twitter.
sure, I know.
Like,
The thing is, like looking back, like going forward, like it was like, oh, okay, whatever. He's this guy, and he was like constantly buying Bitcoin, everything. Everyone's like, all right, he's just like whatever. He is who he is. But now, like looking back, like he looks so much more unfavorable.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
but everyone brushed it off in the going forward. Like,
yeah, because he sold himself as like this like cowboy genius of crypto who just like knew something other people didn't know. You know, my whole thing. I told you a little bit before that I want to talk about this. I, you and I both have been thinking about decision making a lot, and I think recently, and I one of the like pillars that I fall back to when I think about decision making is Nassim Taleb's work. And I think about the barbell approach, number one. So, for those who don't know, Nassim Taleb coined this phrase and popularized this investment approach, but it's really just approach to many things in life where you sort of have a bimodal approach where one like leg of the table, if you imagine a two-leg table, one leg of the table is like a very secure, low risk, known upside, like knowable upside kind of approach, and the other one is high risk, potentially unknowable, like downside and upside. And what he says is invest in the risky things only when it's offset by low risk, well understood decisions or investments, and don't invest more than you're comfortable losing
right.
in the sort of unknown high risk investments.
Right.
And that has kind of been my approach to investing in crypto, just because I think no one knows shit.
Everything goes into the
Yeah,
the risky end of the barbell with crypto.
facts. And I think also it's such a hot like investment sphere right now that I just don't think, unless I devote close to 100% of my time, that I'm really going to outcompete people who are obsessed in trading. And yeah, exactly. So
I mean, people have been in this for almost a decade, like,
mm-hmm.
you know, and even people. I mean, I feel like the big booms were like, I don't know, around like early 2010s, and then it was like 2017 big burst, and then like 2021. But I feel like people in the 2017, I mean, yeah, the 2017 like spike, they're like more seasoned. I feel like they cashed in big on this recent hike. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the things it's like you got to be devoted to. Otherwise, it's like playing a losing game.
Hmm. Because yeah, I mean, and it's interesting that if you listen to Knowledge Project or Tim Ferriss, or you like when they have these high level elite investors on, a lot of them say the same thing, that you're not like you're the average person's just not going to win. And
Right.
it's not. I think people could hear that and take that as like arrogance or as a challenge, and that's not what they're saying. That what and they're saying is like you don't understand
The depth.
how much of a disadvantage you're at.
Right.
And fundamentally, like you could become obsessed, but you're competing against like
The best of the best.
institutions. But it's not just the best. It's not just like
It's teams and
it's teams, it's systems, it's AI. It's like it's not just Ray Dalio. It's Ray Dalio and what he's done with his computers
sure.
and how he's trained his teams
Sure.
and his fundamental insights. Like it's just
I think it's one of those things. It's like so easy, right? Like anyone can download an app, buy or sell like a stock, right? There's like the barrier to entry is literally zero, right?
mhm.
And yeah, I think it's or like what's like basketball or things that have like extremely low barrier to entry, but like to become good is incredibly, incredibly difficult.
Mhm.
Yeah, and like I think if people realized how big the gap was, they wouldn't even like go anywhere near trying to invest. Like imagine someone like right like right at a boot camp or like even let's say before boot camp, like just doing like some prep work, being like going head to head with like a senior engineer or like a staff engineer. Like it's the gap is that large.
With Balaji, bro.
Yeah, literally.
Like with Balaji, with
literally,
Elon.
literally.
That's who you're going against.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw a thing that was actually pretty interesting. This guy who's like, I don't know, has made a few good investments, but he's saying that he thinks there's a good chance that Elon has like enough sway and like the market is moving in a certain way that he can like renegotiate the terms of his deal at a lower price and like threaten to like cancel the deal, which will like crush the stock. So like it's pretty interesting. And the guy's like buying options to assuming that the price will go down. But pretty interesting. And I think it's definitely in the cards. Like I mean, all of like tech, especially in like the Twitter size company, is just getting absolutely
Mhm.
bullied. So,
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Did you see Elon's tweet the other day that I sent you? You haven't been on
Yeah,
Twitter recently, right?
I come on every few days, but yeah, today I did a
Yeah.
little dive just because it was everything in crypto. But yeah.
When he said, "If I die under mysterious circumstances, it's been nice knowing y'all."
Yeah.
When I read that, I was like, I know he's joking, but I
But
really
something
hope
made
they
him
don't
that
like.
joke. Yeah,
Yeah, I just hope he doesn't get clapped, like of anyone,
facts.
like public figures.
That Elon.
Facts.
Facts.
Dude, I really want to do a deep dive on why people hate Elon so much.
Should be a blog post.
Maybe. People really fucking hate him.
I mean, he definitely rubs people the wrong way.
No,
Like,
he's a troll.
yeah.
But if you look at the work he's doing, like I just think like like am I missing something? Because there's someone that I know that I see regularly, that has expressed, they have said literally, Elon, to a table of people, you guys know like Elon Musk, he's like a real villain. I
I
don't
know
say
he's
anything.
talking
I don't
about that.
react. I'm just like, and like, they're like, oh, he's not a genius. He just inherited the wealth of his dad's
Sure,
emerald like
sure.
mining
I know.
situation.
Well, yeah. I feel
And
like the
when people are like,
biography.
he's not a genius, what are you talking about? He's not. You think that if I gave you $100 million,
Most
which
people
he
would end up
didn't,
with zero.
exactly,
Literally.
and there
Yeah,
are billionaires who don't have 10% of the impact this guy has.
sure.
Like, I'm talking about.
I don't even pay it. I'm just like, there are fundamental facts like this is what he's done, and this is like
Mm-hmm.
this is his track record. Like maybe he'll end up doing things that are bad or making bad decisions, but he has a great track record, and his philosophy and what he speaks about seems to be, very I don't know, just in tune with reality. So yeah, I don't know. I don't pay any mind to those opinions. I was
Facts.
curious before the pod we were talking about. So Taimur recently set up his blog and is going to start writing, and yeah, I was curious on what you were saying because I know my blog is more of like building things, and I kind of use it as like a way to set a quota for like creating things. So like I don't do as long articles. Like once in a while I will, but yeah, it's
Mhm.
mostly an excuse for me to like create and a way to just like keep
Like documents.
date. Yeah, what I'm like working on and thinking about. So yeah,
Hmm.
curious your opinion.
I mean, I don't know, right? I think it'll change with time, but I I think I like writing for the sake of writing more than I'm doing it because I want to say something. No, that's not right. Basically, I just really like writing, and part of it is I want to use the blog to refine my writing. And I don't have any idea of how long posts are going to be or how short posts are going to be, but um, or how frequent they're going to be. But I definitely have. I've been. I've also very influenced, not just in my thinking, but by Nassim Taleb's like literary style, where he's like, I just write. What does he say? Like, I don't do when I'm actually sitting down to write. I'm not like pulling up a bunch of notes and researching. The only things that I write are the things that come to me naturally.
Hmm.
Because if it's not exciting for me to write, it's not going to be exciting for people to read.
Right.
I don't know if that's true or not, but I definitely that would be my style of writing, like just whatever comes to mind and just and I don't know, I think there'll probably just be essays about like what I'm thinking about.
Right.
Like right now, what I'm trying to do, what I've done this week is every morning like write for 30 minutes about right now I'm writing about decision making and it's not like here's how to make decisions, it's more just here's what I've learned so far and what I think so far. And yeah, it's been cool, but I just find that more and more shit comes out because I think you will probably relate to this, but between one, this podcast, two, writing, all the things I've absorbed over the last few years, reading, podcasts,
Sure. Are
conversations,
coming
they
together
bubble
and
up. Yeah.
yeah.
So when writing about decision making, I think about, oh, there's that passage from Annie Duke's book,
Sure.
How to Think in Bets. Then I
Right.
think about like Ray's book. Then I think about all of Nassim's book. Then I think about Tim Ferriss, like and synthesizing all those things. So I think in general, I really resonate with that famous Kevin Kelly quote, which to paraphrase, he said something like, "I don't know what I think until I write. Like I
Sure.
write in order to know what I think." And
Sure.
I fuck with that. So I don't really know what it's going to be, but I think it's just useful and it's good to put things out into the internet. I mean,
Yeah.
I think kind of the thing that we've both come to this
Sure.
year.
Sure.
It's like just no reason to not have shit out there.
Sure. Yeah. I honestly like. Yeah, I think it's just good to have things out. And honestly, I feel like I don't know if you feel this way. I feel like it sounds like you feel this way. Like I'm not writing for an audience like, oh, I want to gain like followers from this or anything. It's just like this is what I'm doing, and I'm just like documenting it and like just yeah, putting my thoughts like out there.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. That's how I feel about it, and I feel like writing, yeah, definitely helps me refine my thoughts as well. Like,
Hmm.
I don't know if I have it to the extreme of where it's like I don't know what I'm thinking till I write it, but like it definitely helps me clarify my thinking quite a bit.
Hmm.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, and it just feels like a useful way to spend time. And yeah, to echo your point, I'm definitely not doing this because I'm trying to make a career out of
being
it
an
or find
influencer,
an
exactly.
audience. I just think I already write so much like in my journals and shit, and I'm constantly reading. And I don't know, I do want to it's not necessarily that I want like an audience or financial reward, but I do want my best thinking to be part of the conversation, if that makes sense. You know,
Sure.
that is very motivating to me.
But
Um,
it's tough in terms of like putting out thoughts, like, and obviously decision making is this like massive topic. Like, yeah, I just found it like extremely daunting because yeah, it's one of those things. Like once you start, it's just like you can write almost a whole book on it, right? Just because it's like there's
mhm.
so many different topics and things to pull in here and there, and like yeah, I don't know. I think putting some, I mean, for me, it was putting some like artificial like boundaries on it. Like, okay, this is what I've used recently, and this is things I've found useful at this like point in time, and things that I
Mhm.
haven't like talked about or like used in the past and found helpful. Like the thing in the morning, like was never, I don't know, never something I ever like practiced or like have done, but I found it to be like incredibly helpful, and like yeah, just had really a lot of clarity in thought like while doing
You
that.
talk about the Jeff Bezos thing.
Yeah, just like having really calm alone time where your mind it has like energy and like yeah, where you just have like really high quality time to think and you can like
Mhm.
expend a lot of your brain power. So I don't know. I've never done that before and it was really helpful, especially on these like
So,
bigger decisions.
so on that topic, I think it ties into one of the things that I wanted to talk about. So specifically, you said having high quality alone time in the morning where you're calm and still
Hmm.
and able to like have like expend your brain power and have just
Hmm.
good quality thinking. Andrew Huberman was on Jocko's podcast, and I of the interviews I've seen of Huberman, I think it's the best one.
Do you
Um,
think do you think Jocko as a host brought that out or do you think it just like happened to be like
I think it's both. I think it's partly serendipitous. I think Jocko brought it out as a host because, well, one, the episode is 5 hours long, so like Jocko really lets Huberman talk, and he asks, I think, really good questions because Jocko like he tries to ask questions that I think, like when you listen to Shane Parrish, for example, he asks really elite questions, but his audience is like, I think, more narrowly defined, where it's like people who work in tech or finance or like
sure?
stuff like that, like people who are interested in a podcast called The Knowledge Project, you
Sure.
know. But
And
Jocko's
Tim Ferriss,
podcast,
like the
exactly,
overlap, but Tim Ferriss is very high, whereas like
yeah.
Jocko gets military people and
Jocko, yeah, he gets like everyday regular people, you know, like
right,
police officers, firemen, firefighters,
sure,
fucking like grocery store managers. Like
yeah,
he gets a lot of people. So I think he asks questions in a way that Huberman's also, to his credit, I mean, just a phenomenal teacher and explainer of science.
sure,
Um, I think he will be remembered, honestly, like in the realm of like a Carl Sagan, or like a Neil deGrasse Tyson, but for
for bio.
biology. I really do.
I
But
remember
anyway, so
the first podcast I forget what it was. I think he sent to me. He was on like some random podcast or some podcast we don't normally listen to, and like
Rich Roll, yeah,
yeah, and he like was talking about his like how he grew up, and he just had like a crazy story, and I feel like he's only
yeah,
gotten like uber successful from then, and
dude,
like
he's
yeah, he's just
huge,
and like when he talks, he just like he like reference studies and like all like the
yeah,
counter arguments, he has them like all
dude, he's so
yeah,
intelligent,
he's mad. He's got his T's crossed and his I's dotted.
yeah. So on the podcast, they started talking about what can people do to improve their capacity for focus, and in answering the question, he related a little anecdote about someone he knows. I forget the person, but Huberman said about him, he is, some scientist who is definitely going to win the Nobel Prize, and is incredibly prolific, and also, has 5 kids and has a very fulfilling marriage, and just like a very sort of high output
Sure.
scientist with success in personal life as well. And he's friends with Huberman. I think also works at Stanford. And Huberman asked him, like, dude, how do you do it? And the guy answered, every day for at least 30 minutes, I deliberately sit and force myself to think in full sentences.
Interesting.
So when I heard that, I like paused it,
Tried it for like a few minutes.
I like rewinded, and I sent the quote. He says, the other thing that's very useful for developing focus is something that people often don't do enough anymore, is writing in complete sentences. The ability to write and think in complete sentences is hard work. And I don't know, it's just one of those things that I think we all have. Like when you hear it, you know that you're going to do it. You know, like I remember when Jimmy Chin was on uh, Tim Ferriss, and he said like this book that I read, Musashi. I just knew like I'm going to read that book.
Sure.
Something
I
about
felt
this
that with
practice.
in that Naval list, there was like the book with Toast. It was like good calories, bad calories. Like that. I
Oh
felt like
yeah.
that book like is gonna be elite. But I felt this similar way. We're like, I'm gonna read this. It's probably gonna be elite. Like,
Oh, the list today that I retweeted.
yeah, I like that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
I read a
Uh,
good chunk. There was like a handful I hadn't read, but yeah.
mhm. Yeah, I actually noticed that the good calories, bad calories one too, and I want to read that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so to your point, I listened to this. I heard that maybe Monday, so it's only Wednesday today, but Monday morning, Tuesday morning, and today morning, I deliberately sit down 30 to 45 minutes and pick a topic that I want to write about on the blog, which so far has been decision making, and I've just forced myself to write slowly in complete sentences. And after 30 minutes, it feels like a workout for your brain.
Yeah.
And it's too early to say if I see any difference, but I'm pretty stoked on doing it. Like,
Sure. So he said he also does 30 minutes of thinking in full
no,
sentences?
no. He said I tried it for 5 minutes and I gave up because it was way too hard.
The
So
guy
the
said
guy, the,
or
Huberman
Huberman said.
said that. The guy says thinking. He didn't say writing.
Gotcha.
So I'm doing it in writing.
That's thinking in full sentences. I don't even know what. Yeah, what?
Yeah, like I am feeling very hungry and I have to make a decision about what I'm going to eat.
Yeah.
I remember that in the fridge, like just the way you would write for high school, you know, like
Sure,
an SAT fucking essay.
Sure.
It's brolic. But it made me think about you probably, I mean, I've said this so many times. When I came back from the Vipassana retreat, the way I tried to describe the like what it had done for my focus was that I was able to think in complete sentences for long periods of time without having to expend a lot of effort.
Right.
Slowly. And I was able to trace back like the chain
Yeah.
of my thinking. Like I don't know how to
Wild
quantify it.
long. Yeah.
Like
It was just like you can go down
wild
the
long.
whole, like you could see the rabbit
Yeah.
hole of like
Oh, I came from there. I came from there.
you saw like the history of your thoughts.
Facts, like the full commit history.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I've been thinking, or it like comes to my brain pretty frequently. The quote of like the tragedy of this generation is like cheap dopamine and like or free dopamine.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Like how easy it is to get distracted and to just like feel satisfied while doing literally nothing productive is just like so garbage for us.
Dude.
And I mean, it's fun. There's like, I don't know, like in China, like banning like video games, like, or like only.
Bro, they're going to body us. China's going to body us.
Yeah. Even Elon, I think Elon was like, people don't even want to go to work in the US. And in China, they'll burn like the 3 a.m. oil. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's just crazy.
Facts.
So to that point, another quote that I sent to the Clubhouse email to talk about today was from the same podcast. Huberman said, quote, the explosion of mental illness, the explosion of anxiety and depression and ADHD is absolutely the consequence of readily available, the ready availability of pleasures without effort.
Right.
That's exactly what you just said, like cheap dopamine. And he said earlier in the podcast, and I didn't write it down, but he said, if you cannot control your like habits of cheap pleasure, you will destroy your life.
Yeah.
And he literally said that quote.
I know. That's why I had it like remove Instagram, I have to like remove every like LinkedIn, like all this shit. Like everything just becomes like the next like
Yeah.
Like I have to just cut it out, and then like it helps so much.
Yeah. So after listening to this podcast on Monday, I was like, because you probably remember, like back in 2017 to 2018, I didn't use I didn't use any social media.
Hmm.
And I think while I was at boot camp, I didn't use social media in 2018 and 2019, but got back onto it, and like I'm in it, you know.
I know.
But on Monday, after hearing this podcast, I was like, yeah, done. Like, can't do it right now. So I took everything off my phone, and it's so weird because I find myself like scrolling Slack. I'm like, what am I
Bro,
doing?
I know. I'm on like
What am
LinkedIn, like refreshing shit. I'm like, I need to GG. Like, you just find the most random shit to like burn
Yeah,
time with. But eventually, you're left alone with your thoughts, which is
facts.
I
I've
think a
definitely been
positive.
reading a lot more.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Bro, they had a fire deal on the newer Kindle. It was like $50 for Mother's Day.
damn, bro, I wish you told me that.
Are you
I would have
looking
bought
for
like 3. No, I want to
Why?
buy one for my girlfriend, and my mom wants one.
Damn.
Um, the one with the auto adjusting light, or
That
just
one's a
the
little
regular.
more. Just the regular
Yeah,
one though is like,
that's what I'm saying. That auto adjusting light shit is capped. Like, just get the regular one.
bro, mine doesn't even have a light right now. But I'm gonna switch with Marissa because I was gonna buy it, and then Marissa's like, "Oh, I have one. I don't use it." So I'm gonna swap with her and get like whatever a more modern Kindle.
Yeah,
But yeah, $55. But maybe buy it used.
elite invention.
Yeah.
I love the Kindle, bro. Remember when there used to be like competitors? Like there used to be the Nook from Barnes and Noble.
God,
Long gone. The fuck is
yeah,
that?
literally. I still don't get people like read on their like
Phones?
iPad and stuff.
I
Phone,
can't
like
do that.
you're just like wrecking your eyes. Like I mean, like we spend enough time looking at a screen. Like realistically, like I don't even know. What would you say? Like percent of awake time on a screen is probably like
Well, with our
80,
careers, yeah.
like it's probably like 80+%. Like that's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if our eyes are cooked by the
Fucked.
time we're like 50.
I don't know. Maybe Neuralink comes and fixes some shit. Who knows?
Facts.
Or Huberman. He does a lot of work with optics, like
Just
the neurology of optics and shit.
dunk our head in that nice plunge every day.
I miss it.
Yeah, Huberman.
Like
I feel like Huberman
so.
would actually be a dope person to like. I don't know. I feel like Elon would be dope to have a conversation with, but it's just like insane. But I feel like Huberman would be a cool like person to like, yeah, or like be on a plane next to for like,
yeah, or like go to dinner with, like,
yeah,
so fire. Yeah.
Did you see that place I sent you? That he says him and Khabib go to that that's Russian spa, not the one that we went to, the other one. There's
No,
another one
in downtown, like
in Fida.
yeah. I almost went to it once, but I haven't been.
Yeah.
We should go.
It's
If Khabib's there, oh man, I'd probably cry. I'd probably cry. Well, because it's a Russian-run place. Well, the one we go to is Russian as well. But
how do you think so this weekend? Both know there was these big fights. How do you think the Brazilian John would do against Khabib?
Dude, that's what everyone's talking about. I'm actually glad you brought up the fights because I forgot that I wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
But first of all, you saw the front kick knockout?
Yeah. Crazy.
Okay. Do you know anything about Tony Ferguson, the guy who got knocked
out? I know he was nice, and then he's just been washed up and getting rocked.
To say he's nice is an understatement. He was like
the man.
He was on the path to being a GOAT. Like, he was on the path to being a GOAT. He was on a 12-fight win streak. People thought he was going to be the guy to stop Khabib.
He got clapped.
Yes, but
by what? Yeah.
Gaethje, but I'll get there. There were for 4 years or 5 years, Khabib and Tony were scheduled to fight 5 different occasions, and each time something happened and the fight got canceled. One time,
I remember that.
Khabib, so it was like the cursed fight that never happened.
Yeah.
And like, you don't understand, people, like, in hindsight, everyone says like, oh, Khabib would have washed him, but no one was sure about it. Like, it was really like, what's gonna happen? They used to call him the boogeyman because he used to like he used to demolish people.
Yeah.
But
he's a nut, bro.
He's crazy.
He's got a lot of loose bolts. Like,
But you need to be that way to be like a firefighter, I guess.
yeah.
But then
Except for Khabib.
what happened is the fifth time, bro. The fifth time they were supposed to fight, Habib, because of COVID, wasn't able to leave the country, right?
Right.
So Tony ends up fighting Justin Gaethje, but Tony did something
Yeah.
really dumb where the day he was supposed to fight Habib, he still cut the weight because he was like, I'm a professional. It was stupid because weight cutting is really hard on the body. Like,
Sure.
and then like a week later, he did another weight cut to fight Justin Gaethje. And Justin Gaethje like fucked him up.
Yeah,
And
he
a lot
got
of people say,
lost their respect.
a lot of people say it was partially because, like, yes, Justin Gaethje's nice, but a lot of people say it's partially because Tony like cut so much weight.
Twice, yeah.
And then after that, it seems like mentally he just hasn't been the same.
Yeah.
Except for this fight with Michael Chandler, the first round
it was looking pretty good,
but then that leg kick came, bro.
he got
straight kick.
He got Pez dispenser, bro.
I thought he was dead. Like, I thought he was dead.
Yeah.
He didn't move for like 2 minutes.
His head, the way it was snapped back was broad.
And he's never been knocked out before, so just.
I mean, if there's anything that's going to knock someone out. So. But yeah, then the second fight was bad good.
Yeah, Gaethje.
But you knew, I mean,
Oliveira.
Like, on their feet, like, doing okay, but he was just constantly trying to get him on the ground, and as soon as he got him, it was like the Khabib versus who was Khabib's last fight was
Gaethje, same
right?
guy.
Yeah, and
same
like
guy.
Quickly, like as soon as it got on the floor, like it was GG, and like same scenario. But I wonder how they would hold up against each other, just because they're both like phenomenal.
I mean, the closest we're gonna get is Habib's boy Islam, who's making his. You've watched him fight?
Yeah.
He's mad good, bro, and he's making his way up.
Did he fight the day on Khabib's last fight day, or was that? Am I mixing it up?
He might have.
I think he did. I think he might have been the fight before.
I don't remember.
Or maybe.
I don't remember, but he's on the
great fight.
Come up right now.
Do you think they'll fight each other?
So
it'd be a few years.
So the thing is, all the fans know that Islam is like the real #1 contender, but the thing in lightweight 155 is like right now there's just a dominance of grapplers. Like you have Connor, he gets washed by everyone. Sure. You have basically you have Oliveira and Habib who have all beat the same guys the same ways, right? Like Poirier, they both choked Poirier out. Gaethje, they both choked Gaethje out, right? And now Islam is coming up, and Islam is like a nasty grappler, nasty, like that Russian wrestling.
Yeah.
So the closest we'll get to see Habib versus Charles Oliveira will be Islam versus Charles Oliveira,
right.
Which most people
he trains Islam, right?
Bro, they're best friends. They're like brothers.
They look like each other, yeah.
They dead look like each other.
Yeah.
So that's the fight the fans want to see. Is that going to be the next fight for the title? Who knows?
Probably not. I mean, do you think he could even get that fight? Like
he could, yeah. But the thing is, there was a fight he was scheduled for against this guy Beneil Dariush, who the fight got canceled because I think Beneil got injured, and like some people are like, oh, he needs to fight Beneil again. But like, no, he should just fight Charles.
Go for the boy. Yeah.
But
Charles is mad nice, bro.
He's so nice.
He seems like the boy too. He just seems mad cool.
Yeah. Have you heard him talk? He speaks so fast. He doesn't speak
wasn't there? Yeah, what were people like praising his translator because he like went off for like 10 minutes? Translator. Yeah, but then the translator apparently like recited everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Dude, UFC is such a
it's wild how much it's grown. Apparently, like a lot of there's some Maria Sharapova. Like there's some other top tier celebrities that have invested in the UFC, and they must be making bread because it is just I mean, displaced boxing and I don't know. I feel like carving out its own niche in the sports arena.
Bro, I was talking to my boy about it the other day. Like, what is it about UFC? And I was thinking, like, the MMA is one of the few sports I think that kind of sits outside of politics. Like, it's very not politically correct, like the environment.
Sure.
Whereas, like, you look at football, you look at basketball, like professional athletes in like the well-established sports like football, basketball, they have to
Sure.
behave,
Wild shit, yeah.
Like
I mean, I think it's just the nature of the sport. Just so it's like
for sure
violent. Like violence is literally the sport, and like it definitely like you won't like. It's not a very Brooklyn friendly like sport.
It's definitely
like you're not finding like yeah
facts
or certain parts of Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's definitely not Greenpoint friendly.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, I think that's part of the draw. Like, there's no like, it's just so real. There's no bullshit. It's just, dude.
Sure.
I mean, there's definitely forms of bullshit like with the promotion and stories and shit, but it's not like you remember Cam Newton when he said that shit about like to the female reporter when he was like, it's funny to hear a girl talk about sports, and he got like bodied.
Yeah.
Rightly so, but
I don't remember that, man.
He said some shit like there was this female reporter who asked
Sure.
him like some like technical football term I don't even know, and he was like, "You know what that is?" And she's like, "Yeah." He's like, oh, "It's funny to hear females talk like that," and he got like, reamed.
Roasted, yeah.
Like that would never happen to UFC. Like Khabib literally said, like someone asked him like, "Do you have advice for female aspiring MMA fighters?" And he said, "Real women fighters are at home." And you get a husband, you take care of his home, and you smash him really bad. That's what he said. But he's also from the mountains of fucking Dagestan, where like
you get the
goat
when
the goat milk espresso. But when reporters go over there for the UFC, they're literally not allowed to film women. Like that's how like
crazy.
Like conservative Muslim where Khabib's from.
Crazy.
But I just bring that up to say,
yeah, it's just,
like all that shit doesn't matter in UFC.
Yeah. They also, I mean, like during like they were the first sport to come back like during COVID and like yeah. This weekend was a huge sports weekend though. Like there was
F1.
the Miami Grand Prix, which was like an okay race, but I don't know, it was just cool, and it seemed like apparently like I mean everyone was there. And then yeah, the Kentucky Derby. That was like definitely one of the most remarkable races. Like even if you're not into horse racing, whatever, like that's just wild. Like literally, like the worst horse or rated the worst horse in the whole race. One was like losing most of the race, and then just like flew past everyone and won. Like, and it was like a $30,000 horse, and most people spend like 6 figures, 7 figures on horses. Like, it's like completely unheard of. I know you don't care about horse racing.
Sometimes you say some shit, and you remind me how white you are.
Like, I'll take that as a compliment.
I don't even fucking know the horse racing was still a thing. I thought the Kentucky Derby was cars.
There's like three. There's like 3 big races. There's the one in Queens, Belmont, and then
Belmont Kentucky Stakes, shit like that.
And then there's one other one that I'm blanking on right now. But
yeah.
And if you win all 3, it's like a huge thing. I don't remember. I think there was one recently, but the most famous horse is Secretariat, and yeah, I don't know. It's like it has a passionate following for the people that do like it, and like I mean, it also like yeah, I mean, fuels people's like gambling habits, but yeah, it's definitely an interesting sport.
Yeah. So we had F1, we had horses, MMA. And we had UFC. Great card, unreal card.
Yeah.
Probably knockout of the year. Honestly,
it's crazy. I wonder how he's doing. His brain's got to be. I mean, his RAP soup has got to be. Like,
I just hope he retires at this point. He's on a 4-fight losing streak. Yeah. Bro, can you imagine going from a 12-fight winning streak to a 4-fight losing streak? Like crazy.
Crazy. And I mean, also like as you get, beat up pretty bad and like I don't know. I mean, imagine it only like mentally from like a physical and mental standpoint, just degrades you. Like,
I mean, he took so much damage in that Justin Gaethje fight. I don't think he's released a statement since he lost the other night.
people don't even know if he's alive right
Honestly, it was so.
Have
It was so
you?
crazy.
So you said you've been writing more lately. Have you been? And you said you're reading more. Any good books on the docket?
I'm trying to think what I'm reading right now. I'm drawing a blank. My Kindle's not nearby, but I'm actually rereading Skin in the Game.
Mm.
I don't know. That book for me is just like, you know how much I love that book. So,
Yeah.
but I'm not reading like what I'm basically just like I'll open my Kindle and go to like my collection of rereadable books right now. So I'm not reading anything like super new, but I'm reading like snippets and highlights of things that I've read in the past because I feel like I don't know, my appetite is just like that's what I like, that's what I want right now.
Sure.
So rereading Skin in the Game, parts of that. I mean, I have started the beginning of Infinity again, but I don't know. It just isn't
The
hooking
beginning
me.
of beginning.
Yeah, it just
Fine.
isn't hooking me. But just also like just a lot of blogs. Like I'm rereading Wait, but why stuff? Because
I feel like rereading the AI one would be pretty interesting at this point. Because it's been like 4 or 5 years.
yeah,
The chef one and Elite. Then.
the chef one is just like a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like it should be mandatory reading, I think, for
Literally.
like if I was a bro, we should put together like a class.
The college course, yeah.
Like a college course. We should put it out on the internet, like charge money for it. If no one wants to, take it, fine. But
Do it. What's that thing called? Gumroad or whatever it's called.
some shit like that, and just put together you know, like our resources and like put together like a syllabus of things that we've liked reading and just talk about them.
Sure. Just the goats. I
Just
would
the
add
goats.
the lion book to the
Oh,
list of
100%.
goats. Yeah. That was really good.
It's amazing. So now that you finished it, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I liked it. I think it was just like I think the timing on it was helpful too. But I think it's just like an important reminder of like being present and I don't know, not getting trapped into like the narratives that society traps us in, especially I don't know, in the lives we live. So
It's an elite book.
yeah.
All right, so what's the GOAT list right now? Definitely principles, like
Principles,
easy.
Tools of Titans. I'd put meditations. I know you might
Okay.
not. I know you'd put
No,
Musashi.
I know I would put Musashi. I don't think Musashi will have as wide of an audience though. Like I think I know a lot of people that would love it. Let's like limit it to like Derek Sivers on his website. He does book ratings, but he's rating how much he'd recommend it, not how much he liked it. So
Siddhartha.
Siddhartha is a classic.
That's a
I think
long, yeah.
Shantaram also. Like Shantaram is
Shantaram. The Name of the Wind.
so elite.
Yeah.
Honestly, I
know
put
you'd
Three
give
Body
those
Problem
awards.
in there.
Yeah.
Line Tracker's Guide. I think Fooled by Randomness.
How to Fail at Everything and Still Win Big.
Elite bit book.
Elite
book.
You got to put some to love. Oh, Naval's book is just like
staple.
That might be that's top 3 for me, honestly. I've reread that like I don't know.
It is. I owe that a reread.
Yeah. What else?
Dude, I would put like minimum 3 Taleb books. Like I need Fooled by Randomness, I need Anti-Fragile, and I need Skin in the Game. I think Black Swan is the weakest of those, which is crazy because it's like what he's known for. But I also read Black Swan after Anti-Fragile, so I think it probably
Yeah, it was
there's a
already
lot of
covered.
overlap between these. Yeah, there's a lot of overlap between these two books. I
Mm,
feel like if you had to read only two Nassim books, though,
just
you
gonna make him
couldn't.
different.
Anti-Fragile's elite, but Fooled by Random is very elite too, bro.
Yeah.
Um,
What else did we put in our list? We put the
Way of the
Wake
Superior
Up
Man
Why.
for dudes.
Yeah.
Even
Wake
though
Up.
I don't know. Yeah, the chef.
The Chef. I think the AI one too.
Yeah.
The Hasib post, even though it's like
Oh,
just for tech, it's just electric.
I think everyone like just it's just amazing for career.
Yeah, and just like on negotiate. Yeah, like fundamentally just like having options.
Yeah, definitely the negotiation part. What
I feel like we're
else?
missing some like banger
Some
books.
big hitters. Yeah. I would well, we mentioned the line book. Awareness. I mean,
Yeah, awareness a lot.
awareness. I mean, that's a whole 4 years of college though. Like to actually read through all this content and
Yeah.
like
I mean,
digest
each
it,
one
think
you could
about
just
it.
be reread. Like you could pick one of these books and it'd be like a lifetime.
A lifetime, yeah.
Um,
What else? Poor Charlie's Almanac. It's elite. Or like
it's elite. I just like I guess yeah. I mean I think I would put it in the syllabus, but I would be like, yeah.
what else? I know we're missing some shit.
Maybe Josh's book.
I would put Josh's book.
Yeah, be like a
Mm,
starter. I gotta reread Josh's book because I feel like I want to see if I like it as much as I liked it when I first read it.
I just don't love the language in the book. That's not true, actually. That's not true. I just think Josh's book is really aimed at like picking one skill
Mhm.
and really going like
Deep.
deep, like deep. You know?
That's a fact. We gotta reread. I feel like it's worth a reread.
It is 100%. It's a rereadable book.
I think for me, I don't know if you would feel Dan's book, Elite.
Yeah, I mean, it's very much like a male audience.
Sure.
I mean, maybe not really, actually, because Dan said on an interview that like a lot of women have actually enjoyed the book, but
Yeah.
I would not jump to recommending that book to like, you know.
I hear it. No, I mean everyone like I just personally I think it would be a useful book in personally I think in college.
Oh, deep work must. Cal
I don't know if
Newport,
I've ever read that. Yeah, I know you.
bro. What,
I know you're
bro?
a fan.
5 out of 5. 5 out of 5.
Interesting.
You're bugging. Oh, Sapiens. I would put Sapiens in there.
And yeah,
Surely you're joking, Mr. Feynman. Elite.
yeah. Oh, what was that book? The Viktor Frankl book.
The Man's Search for Meaning.
Yeah.
I would put Mindset, the Carol Dweck book.
Yeah.
That's a mad good book.
I'm looking on my list. The Truth by Neil. I honestly I think I would. I think
You love that book, dude.
Yeah. I mean,
Maybe I
think
need to reread it.
It would. I think it would round out the education. Give a full liberal arts degree.
Facts. I would put How to
I
Stop
like-
Worrying and Start Living, the Dale Carnegie book.
Yeah.
I think that book
How to
is
Make
amazing.
Influence people too. Good book.
Yeah, really good. Oh, did you ever read that book, Daily Rituals, bro?
I don't think so.
Dude, 10 out of 10 book.
Interesting.
Yo, you need to buy it
You
today.
gotta
on
send
your
it to
Kindle.
me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Daily Ritual.
I'm sending it to you right now.
Right.
I have to have told you about this book in the past.
I've
You're
definitely
gonna
heard of it.
It's one of Josh Waitzkin's favorite books, and he put Tim onto it, and then Tim blasted his audience like, "Yo, you guys got to read this book."
I feel like we're missing
this
some,
guy. No, I'm looking at my list right now. But okay, this guy. Oh, you would probably say Motorcycle Maintenance, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I haven't read that one yet.
You haven't read it? I'd say Girdle Escher Bach is up there. But it's like I don't know if it's like worth it. Yeah.
I gotta read that too.
It's just tricky, but you have to like commit to it. Like
yeah. It's on my list, and every time I'm like looking for new books, I like look at the list
Yeah.
and I see it, but I know that there will be a time where like the time is right.
Yeah.
Okay, so daily rituals. This author basically compiled. He researched like somewhere in the neighborhood of 300. 161. Okay, not 300. 161. Prominent creators throughout history, whether it's scientists, filmmakers, writers, painters, like athletes, whatever. Actually, I don't know if he does athletes, but
Good case studies on
artists,
them.
artists and scientists and like knowledge workers and stuff. And he basically compiles small profiles of their daily routines.
Hmm.
It's just, bro, it is
Yeah,
such
sounds
a
good.
good book.
Yeah, I'm gonna peep it. Then maybe I'll make that what I read now.
Yeah, I'm gonna send this to you.
Art
Dude,
of
it's so
War. You reminded me, or War of Art.
War of Art, War of
Yeah,
Art,
War of Art.
definitely. How do I send this to you? I don't want to do it over the chat because it shows up. I'm gonna email it to you. I guess I can text it to you because
I feel like there's some good. Oh, I really like the Steve Jobs biography. I know you didn't like it as much.
I didn't dislike it. I didn't love it. I didn't. I wouldn't give it a 5.
There were some other biographies I feel like that were like elite.
You really love Power Broker.
Oh yeah, Power. Yeah,
Haven't
like
read
Power
that
Broker.
yet.
I think is actually like could be a poli sci degree. Like
Really? I
mad
gotta
good
read it
book.
again.
Mad good book.
Let's see. I would probably put like a Brian Greene book in there, like Elegant Universe, or I'd probably put Elegant Universe. Have you read Brian Greene?
Yeah.
He's
I
like
feel like
pop.
I've read one of his books. I haven't read that book.
I just forget the other book that's like he's known for. Elegant Universe is the one that comes to mind.
I like some of the like
I
subconscious books. Those really
Subconscious books.
like I
Oh,
don't know.
that the one. What was it called? The one that
Blanking
you
out.
really loved.
Yeah, elite book.
Um,
I haven't internalized a lot of the learnings that I should.
I would probably personally I would put Norwegian Wood on it. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I loved that book.
I loved like 89 like 85%
You just hated
of
the
it.
ending. You just hated the
Fire.
ending.
The ending was so I was like this is trash. Like
I would put Dune on it, honestly. I know you haven't committed to Dune.
yeah,
You gotta commit 50 pages and then you're hooked.
then you're chilling. I don't know. We'll think of some more and I'm sure we'll text them.
I would put honestly 4 Hour Chef there too. Have you been reading it?
No, I haven't been. I just copied it, but yeah, I haven't been reading it.
Mm-hmm.
I think
It's pretty.
I feel like there's a few more biographies I'm not thinking of that I'd be like, yeah, these
Da
are
Vinci. I mean, Walter Isaacson, Da Vinci.
yeah, like that. It wasn't like
It wasn't mind
that
blowing.
notable. Yeah, I do love Da Vinci, but yeah, that's not that notable.
What else? Biographies.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to.
Did we say Chanteron?
Yeah,
I mean,
we gotta
there's
get
just
one
so
more.
much. One more? Fiction or nonfiction?
Whatever.
I think extreme ownership is a book. Oh, Self Reliance. I think 5 out of 5. Have you read Self Reliance?
I don't
Ralph Waldo Emerson.
know. Oh yeah.
The essay. It's an essay. It's not a book. Zen and the Art of Archery. Have you read that one? Bro.
Just Motorcycle Man.
Yeah. A biography that was really impactful for me was Oliver Sacks' memoir.
Yeah.
It's definitely like a lower, I mean, very prominent character in like pop science,
Sure.
and very accomplished writer.
They made a movie about him too. It's Awakening.
Yeah, I
It's
didn't.
with what's his name?
Bill Murray. Oh, Robin Williams. Rest in peace.
Facts.
Yeah. I would probably throw an Alan Watts book in there, but honestly, probably not because he's very like he's not for everyone. But for me, like it's crazy.
Yeah. All right.
Damn.
I feel like we've
Yeah, we went down that
dug in
list.
this OD.
Should we end with one of those questions? Like some question?
Yeah.
You got anything?
Um.
I'm looking something up.
If there was. Hmm. Do you have any
Okay,
good questions?
hold up. This is actually getting me tight. So I'm looking at this list of like podcast questions, and one of them, and basically it says the question, and then it says the podcast that it sourced it from. If you could have a billboard anywhere with anything on it, what would it be and why? Where's the source? Titanium Blonde Talks podcast.
Sure.
The fuck out of here. That's Tim Ferriss, dude. These are pretty dumb, honestly. If you had 100 million to spend on health tech and no red tape, how would you spend it? That's kind of interesting.
I do think it's interesting. I feel like I won't.
I wouldn't make a good answer. I just give
Yeah.
everyone a fucking gym membership.
Oh, it's for. I think you said 100 mils to spend on yourself. Like.
No health tech.
Oh.
I feel like 100 mil is not that much for like.
Nothing, bro. What's that
tech
mean? That's
development?
enough to give like $30 million to each person.
Yeah. Nah, these are kind of whack. I mean, it's pretty cool. If you could have dinner with any three people dead or alive, who would it be and why? That's cool.
Me, you, and Pedro and Henry.
That's a good.
We can
dinner,
do better
though.
than that.
All right.
I have a good question. If there's one,
Okay.
if there's one song you could show everyone in the world that they most likely wouldn't know, but it's a slapper, what would you show?
Ooh, hey.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know that song. That's not like one of the
Yeah,
Chip Members' more popular songs. Yeah. Hey.
That's a solid one. I'd say maybe San Francisco Street. It's just such a good vibe.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that.
I just feel like it's like I feel like a lot of people like Sunday morning, and I feel like it's like a vibe like Sunday morning, but no one knows about it.
It's like it definitely like it's one of those songs that I visualize like what the song is describing when I listen to it.
That
Honestly,
song also,
dude, I
yeah,
wish
that
San
song.
Francisco was like dope to live in because it's so beautiful.
Yeah, I know.
It's so beautiful, but it's cap.
That French song that sounds like Daft Punk.
Oh, so good.
That's a slapper. Like that could be a radio song.
Yeah. That whole band, that band's whole
it's
discography is mad good.
Yeah.
Damn. I kind of want to live in San Francisco, but I don't.
I don't know. I also feel like I don't know.
Bro, the day that we went to see Carol,
yeah,
I reveled from Matt Ryan's house, which is Outer Sunset, all the way to the Caltrain station. And I went to this place called I think it's like Diamond Heights. Bro.
Madness.
So fucking beautiful. I'm just like, how is the city
it's a beautiful
so
city. It's just like like California is like got to be one of the prettiest places, like hospitable, like place to live, like one of the nicest places in the world to live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, have you seen the movie Big Hero 6? I know we keep going, but have you seen that movie?
No.
Bro, you gotta watch that movie.
Facts.
The city in the it's like an animated movie.
Yeah.
The city in the movie is called San Francisco. It's Tokyo and San Francisco, and the artwork is just gorgeous.
I gotta send you this account. It's all like Dolly 2 art. It's gonna blow your
Oh,
mind.
Dolly 2 is crazy.
No,
Is it on
you gotta,
Instagram?
yeah, no, Twitter. I gotta send it to you. You're just gonna be like, holy shit! Like I
I
honestly
have
was like, this
seen
is
some of those accounts already. I wonder if that's like I've seen it, but yeah, no, it fucks me up because what's stopping Dolly 2 for music from being developed? Like,
literally that'd be
can't.
fire though, honestly.
It'd be fire, but it'd be like no one like yeah. All
I feel
right.
like applying to
Anyway,
DJing would be elite
what?
and wouldn't be a difficult task. Like
Like
DJing
DJing?
a set,
Yeah.
yeah. 'Cause I feel like it's pretty algorithmic, like to an extent.
You know, I don't think I care that much if AI takes over the world. Like, as long as we're not like
Famous
harmed.
last, yeah.
Like,
I think it's
because
gonna be
I'm
elite.
so like I mean I don't need like I can be motivated without like some people lose motivation if they just get universal basic income. Like I can be motivated. It's fine.
Sure.
Like I'll have fun. And then you just chill. Like all your boys live in the same place, go to the beach, fucking play
But
chess. Who cares if a machine can do it better than you, you know? Like let me play some chess. We'll play die all day. Like tell me AI is gonna play fucking die. Get out of here.
literally,
I
get
mean
these
they will, honestly. With the
I mean, you
fucking
could do it right now. You get a robotic arm, you'll probably throw like just nukes with like a ton of spin.
but can it catch? Probably.
I mean, I'm sure
It could
there's
be designed.
they made an AI that does plays ping pong and it's just nasty. And I
Yeah.
feel like I mean it's more intricate with like catching and it would need like the hand mechanism would be the toughest part. But I mean you could literally have a bag and just swipe at it because I mean that'd probably be its quickest thing.
Elon, we probably asked this question to Elon. He'd be like, "I could design that in a weekend."
Like
He's like, you know what?
on a Tesla next
On the Tesla AI, you know that robot that they're working on?
What are they? It's named after Megatron or something like that. Like, it's named after
Yeah, it's some crazy shit. Transformer, right?
Yeah.
Optimus. I think it's called Optimus. Yeah. All right, let's call it.
All right, let's wrap it. Yeah. Much love.
All right.
Peace. Love out.
Wait 1 sec. How do I stop this shit? Peace.